Piden Versos was a poem by Rizal that was published in October 7, 1882. He wrote this poem in his time in Madrid, Spain, primarily because of three reasons. First, he was feeling an incredible sense of longing for the motherland that he left behind. Second, in a letter he received beforehand, his mother, Teodora, asked him to write poetry. And third, his colleagues at the Circulo Hispano-Filipino asked him for a poem. And so, after writing and publishing it in October 1882, he recited the poem in front of his friends on the New Year's Eve of the same year. But we're all wondering the same thing. What was this poem all about? Well, there was one obvious force that drove him to writing this heartfelt poem, homesickness. The aforementioned letter his mother sent him only served to amplify this annoying sense of longing he's already felt. Not to mention, he was budgeting both his money and time in a foreign place so he can learn the things that he needs to help not only his mother, but also his motherland. So one can only imagine just how out of his comfort zone he was. Not that he lived lavishly in the Philippines, but because at the time he wrote this poem, it was just his sixth month in a foreign land. From all this, we can see that Piden Versos was a very personally motivated poem, an outlet for Rizal to express how he missed growing up in the Philippines. For he describes himself uprooted from the Orient, leaving him mute and broken, spirit dead. This poem was his lamentation for the parts of him that he left behind, as he took on the steps he deemed necessary for his goals. I think it is poetic though that 143 years later, in 2025, Rizal's longing still resonates with the world, if not even more so. Anyone can miss anyone, but I think this poem speaks to a certain Filipino demographic more than to any other populace: overseas Filipino workers. Think about it. Jose Rizal's situation, despite his choice travels and educational trips in Europe, America, Japan, etc., is still that of an overseas Filipino worker. He went out of his country to find opportunities that would help him assist his loved ones back at home, though he did intend to help his country as a whole as well. This resonance is even further heightened by three relatively recent events. First is, of course, the COVID 19 pandemic. Not only was this global threat a cause of worry for OFWs families, but many lost jobs to the no contact new normal at the time. This not only makes them financially worried, but also emotionally affected, worrying for their family safety with no way of returning home. Second is the recent consecutive earthquakes and the many recent news about the Pacific Ring of Fire awakening and how Philippines is situated within it. All of this just really induces anxiety in the common OFW. And third, but definitely not the least, is the revelation of the Philippines' rampant corruption. Particularly, this were shown on investigated substandard and even non-existent flood control projects, which led to millions of property damage and some lives lost, unfortunately. Knowing that your home country's administration may not be correctly serving your loved ones while away from them can take a toll on your emotions and your efficiency at the job. Now, imagine if Rizal, who was a resilient and very educated man, who chose to migrate to an arguably lenient country relative to the countries OFWs are currently in, already felt this much homesickness and isolation. His voice mute and broken, his roots uprooted, and his spirits killed. How much more homesick do our OFWs of today feel, especially if their country and in turn their loved ones could be in danger? This is all a testament to how family oriented Filipinos are. Separation from your loved ones is like cleaving our spirit in twain. Add in the recent issues I mentioned, plus the high chances of racial discrimination and workplace abuse, and you have displaced countrymen who just wanted to find their family a chance at life, ending up distressed, anxious, scarred, away from those who care for them. With this, I dedicate a reading of Piden Versos to our OFWs, not only in solidarity but to remind them that even our national hero shares their sentiments, and how they are today's heroes for even tolerating more layers of homesickness than what Rizal experienced. They bid me strike the lyre, so long now mute and broken, but not a note can I waken, nor will my muse inspire. She stammers coldly and babbles when tortured by my mind. She lies when she laughs and thrills, as she lies in her lamentation. For in my sad isolation, my soul nor frolics nor feels. There was a time, 'tis true, but now that time has vanished, when indulgent love or friendship called me a poet too. Now of that time there lingers hardly a memory, as from a celebration, some mysterious refrain that haunts the ears will remain of the orchestra's actuation. A scarce-grown plant I seem, uprooted from the Orient, where perfume is the atmosphere and where life is a dream. O land that is never forgotten, and these have taught me to sing, the birds with their melody, the cataracts with their force, and on the swollen shores, the murmuring of the sea. While in my childhood days I could smile upon her sunshine, I felt in my bosom seething a fierce volcano ablaze. A poet was I, for I wanted, with my verses, with my breath, to say to the swift wind, fly, and propagate her renown. Praise her from zone to zone, from the earth up to the sky. I left her, my native hearth, a tree despoiled and shriveled, no longer repeats the echo of my old songs of mirth. I sailed across the vast ocean, craving to change my fate, not noting in my madness that instead of the wheel I sought, the sea around me wrought the spectre of death and sadness. The dreams of younger hours, love, enthusiasm, desire, have been left there under the skies of that fair land of flowers. Oh, do not ask of my heart that languages songs of love, for as without peace I tread this desert of no surprises, I feel that my soul agonizes, and that my spirit is dead.